What's up guys, Yegi here. Today we're going to do a tutorial on a fill. And what's special about this fill is that for the full set we had originally used our pre-made spike fans. This is a fairly newish product that we haven't done too many tutorials on, so I hope you guys get to see it and enjoy it. But basically what the product is, it has a fan and it has a spike right within it, and here's a visual so you guys could see it. It comes in 5D and 7D, and for this tutorial we did use the 7D. And what's also different about it is we did pretty long inner and outer corners for her for the fill, because initially she had a round shaped doll eye with 10s being the shortest in the inner and outer, because she told us normally she likes pretty long in the inner and outer, but when she came back for the fill she wanted 12s. So it was kind of fun to see that it actually looked really good with such a long inner corner with these spike fans. Well, let's get to the tutorial, and you guys let me know in the comments below what you think and what you would have done differently, or what you like and don't like about this look. For your reference, here's the mapping of the original set and the new set and all the products that were used for this tutorial. You can go ahead and save this for your reference. Here is her set after about 3 weeks, and she's come in for the fill. Like we said, she loved the set, but she wants the inner and outer corners to be longer. She wanted a very nice long round shape. She didn't want the inner and outer corners to be very short. So instead of 10, which generally is still considered to be long for corners, we tried to do 12, and she actually did love that look. So here's a great example of kind of breaking the rules or the norms of mapping and catering to what your client really wants and needs. And one key factor of that is making them feel comfortable to communicate with you for the sets in order for them to love it and keep coming back for more. So keep in mind, always ask your clients how they like their sets and if they want to make any adjustments. Don't take it personally, and it is always a client's preference, and you want to keep them happy and not just follow some cookie cutter look. As always, we're going to start off by taping down the bottom eyelashes, and I like to use the under eye patch, white tape and clear tape on top of that. I think this gives it the most clean and precise way of taping for me compared to just using the sensitive tape. Next, we are going to prime her eyelashes with the lip ones to make sure we get every single eyelash and that they are going to be prepared for the adhesive. This ensures that the lashes are going to last as long as possible, and if there is any sort of residue left on the lashes, it does help get it nice and clean. Next, we are going to go ahead and dry the eyelashes before we start applying. And I like to actually brush them as I'm drying them to make sure that they're going to be sitting as nice and straight as possible, and if there's any loose lashes left, that they would come off. I don't want any old eyelashes lingering there. For this set, we are using our popular Mega Hold adhesive, which is a faster drying adhesive than our premium adhesive, and this is going to make sure the fans are going to dry nice and quick and we can apply them as fast as possible. We are using the pre-made fans, but these are the spike fans, which have the longer piece in the center, and these come into either a 5D or a 7D, so you'll have a nice full look with the wispy pieces already in there with the pre-made fan. Now we want to make sure we go through the eyelashes before we fill them in, and anything that looks loose or stuck together or just overgrown, we do want to remove those before we fill in the eyelashes. Now we're not going to fill or take out every single eyelash that looks tiny bit grown, because this will pretty much end up being a full set. But anything that looks loose or it's kind of lifting from the base, or it looks like it's overgrown more than 4 inches, those we will remove and replace. But if it's grown out less than 4 inches, even 3 inches, we want to leave those, and next time they come for a fill, then those will get replaced. And after we removed all the loose lashes, now as we're lashing, we may kind of see more eyelashes that are overgrown or that don't look perfect, and we can remove them. But initially you do want to do a quick run through and just try to stick to that, or else you'll end up spending a lot of time on your fills trying to remove all of them and make them all super perfect, because a lot of us are perfectionists as lash artists. But of course, this is a fill and it's not a full set, so you want to make sure you kind of give the client the time for a fill. If it's that bad where you feel like you do need to remove more than like half of the ones that are on there, then you advise them and you charge for a full set, or you upcharge them so everybody's happy. Now we're going to draw on the mapping so we could see which links are going to go where. And remember, we are using 12s for the inner and outer because this client wanted longer inner corners. And to be fair, she did have quite room on her eyelid space to her eyebrows, so it does look really nice on her having the longer links in the inner corner. It does not look off when we're done, and you'll get to see that. Next, we are gonna go ahead and fill in all of the lashes that are missing extensions. We are just going to avoid the eyelashes that are super short and thin to not damage them with the extension. We'll let those grow out until her next fill, then we could go ahead and fill them in. Now we want to glue the extension, the fan, as close to the base as possible, as close to where the eyelash grows out of, but not touching the skin. This is very important to keep your sets looking clean, keeping the eyelashes healthy, and avoid any infections, because the client's natural eyelashes do have their hair follicle, they have the oil glands over there. If things are stuck together and too much glue is used, then this is when people get infections and the eyelash extensions get a negative connotation. So keep them nice, keep them clean. Let's keep the clients coming back for more. These are also the Yegi gold tweezers. They're called our A-line tweezers. It's the A3 and the A2 that I'm using. It's the S shape, the one that's used for isolation. It has a nice curve, and for application I am using the moon-shaped one, and this actually is a great tweezer for inner and outer corners as well. So it is kind of a multi-purpose tweezer. I wouldn't make handmade fans with it necessarily, but these tweezers are really good for classic pre-made fans, inner and outer corners, and etc. Now we also want to make sure we change our adhesive about every 15-20 minutes, that it's in our glue ring or our glue palette, depends on what you're using. When it stops working really good and it's not sticking great, that's when we want to switch it out. We don't want to have that same drop of glue or same amount of glue in our glue ring for over 15 minutes, 20 minutes max, depending on the adhesive. And pay attention to the isolation. We want to make sure that we only have one natural eyelash in between the tweezers when we're gluing. We don't want any other eyelash to sneak up and get stuck together. So take your time, practice your isolation, and keep it as a habit. Always isolate properly. I promise you this will make your sets look a lot nicer, and it will keep the client's natural lashes healthy. Well, I'm going to pop in right here, pause the tutorial to let you guys know to please subscribe. It really helps me out and it helps this community going. Subscribe. Now we'll speed up the application because all we're going to do is the same thing over and over. We're going to isolate and we're going to apply a fan on every single one of her eyelashes. We're just going to go ahead and jump around and fill them in until they look nice and full and even throughout. Here's an example of when we need to remove an eyelash that we notice that is overgrown as we're applying. Now most of her eyelashes are filled in, but we do need to focus on the inner and outer corners. What we're going to do is we're going to give it a nice brush, see how everything is looking. Then we're going to dry her eyelashes so we can untape them without her eyes getting teary. Then we're going to only tape the outer corner to really focus on all those small lashes, because when the whole eye is taped, sometimes those can hide and it's harder to see. So I most of the time like to tape those separately. If you see anything stuck, this is how you want to gently separate them. Now that we're done with the outer corner, we're going to do the same thing for the inner corner. We're going to tape it separately in order to see those small lashes more clearly. We are also going to use the sensitive tapes to pull out the eyelid to be able to see them even better. And our last step will be using the super bonder to lock everything in and have it ready to go. Here's a cool view of kind of the fullness of a before and after the fill. I kind of like doing one eye at a time for that satisfaction, but mostly we do fully one eye then the other for the tutorials if we're recording, because we don't want the video to be so long and boring. But here it is. We did end up filling up the other eye, obviously, and we're comparing to make sure that they match, that they're even, and we can give her the reveal. Now, one thing I want to add about these pre-made spike fan lashes is they are beautiful and they can make the set look wispy. And if you put a lot of them on like we did for this client, it does look nice and dark. But if you want more of a light wispy look, the trick really is not to put that many on and only let them in and put them in between regular lashes so they don't look super full. If you want that light wisp, a little bit more natural, you could just do any set and add these in between for those wisps. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please make sure you are following all the social media pages. TikTok, Instagram are the other two platforms that we're pretty active on, and let us know if there's any other tutorials you like to see. And always make sure you are checking out the Yegi project, which is the motivational business side of project and content that could help you grow personally and grow your business and not only your lash skills. Well, until next time, bye.